David Freeberg, a multimillionaire CEO and investor, walks into a meeting room and everyone instantly wants to do a deal with him. Why? It's not because of his money, it's because of YouTube. I'm David Carber and I've spent years mastering YouTube, driving over 45 million views for my clients in 2024. One of them even made $330,000 in the first 5 months I was working with them. In this video, you'll learn how YouTube can turn you into a money printing machine, whether you're a CEO, a founder, or just a hustling entrepreneur. I'll break it down into 3 real world lessons from a top investor's playbook. But first, here's a unique insight from David Freeberg, multimillionaire, maybe even billionaire, as to why he's glad he never quit YouTube.
A lot of people now are taking the playbook of creating audience and then building companies. And you were doing the production board, you're building a bunch of different companies. Ohalo became very successful and you said, hey, wait, I got to go all in on this, so to speak. But you're going into it with a certain amount of audience, a certain amount of notoriety, and the ability, let's face it, a lot of people in business know you from the podcast now. So what's it like being a CEO now and having the pod as like a platform?
That's actually a great question, because for me, I'm like not doing this podcast to like build a media thing. I just thought it'd be interesting. We started doing it during COVID and I just kind of kept doing it. I tried to quit like every week. I wanted to quit and I still contemplated.
The one thing I learned in media from Engadget, I asked Peter Rojas, who I had stolen from Gizmodo, Nick Denton's company, to come to Engadget. I said, tell me the secret of why Gizmodo, Gawker, and now Engadget are doing so well. And he said, oh, the secret to blogging is very simple. Show up every day.
It's actually a great point. And then Jason did keep us showing up, and then it became a thing. And then it's like, okay, we should probably do something legit to make this into a business or make it into something structural that stays alive. So we did. But to answer your question, I go to meet with farmers a lot and business executives in the agriculture industry. And I can't tell you how often I run into someone who's like, I watch your podcast.
Farmer Joe.
Like the other day I was in a meeting, I won't reveal too much, but a big company that does farming, who you would have never heard of. No one in this room has ever heard of. And then I'm in the hallway after we do this big pitch and the guy pulls me aside. He's like, gives me a fist bump. He's like, love the pod. And then I'm in another state at a meeting and the COO comes out. He's like, dude, I'm a big fan of the pod. And so it helps with building trust. You've earned a reputation. And so when I go into meetings, people know me because of this pod.
Right.
And that reduces friction. I don't have to go sell myself in a meeting. I'm already sold and it makes business easier. And so for me, the pod isn't about making money on the pod as much as it is helping me in my everyday work, which is where I spend pretty much all my time except for a couple hours a week. To contextualize that in the conversation we're going to have today, you create an audience with your content. What do you do with that audience? You can sell ads and make money against that audience. You can get sponsors that you speak to quality products that you endorse and you can make more money and you can either get paid cash or get some equity. You can build your own product and actually own it and then own all the equity and participate meaningfully in the upside as you sell your audience your product. Or in other cases, you're building credibility. You're building, which is what a lot of venture capitalists did after our show, I think, kind of became big. They realized that they're have this opportunity to build credibility with entrepreneurs. So when an entrepreneur shows up, they're like, oh, I want to work with you because I've seen you on your podcast. Or investors show up, I want to invest with you because I've seen your comments on your podcast. So I think there's a lot of ways to think about the value of this, but building an audience, building credibility is really beneficial and it can work out in a lot of ways.
You now understand why posting videos on YouTube is super valuable to a billionaire. Now, let's be honest, if it's valuable to a billionaire, I'm sure it's probably going to add value to yourself as well. So I'm going to dissect this now and go through 3 really important variables as to why this is definitely something you should be considering doing and why it's working. So number 1, it builds trust. I mean, that's a massive thing which is going on here. And that is why David Freeberg was able or is able to walk into a meeting room full of random people, but as he said, he's now skipped that phase of scouting each other out, seeing if you really are credible and if you are reliable and if you're somebody that you would be trustworthy in doing a business deal with. Trust is the foundation of every single business deal. I do multiple new business deals. I'm working with new clients. I'm working with people who want to be a partner or a supplier to my business. If you already trust me, that's going to speed up the foundation. It's going to speed up the decisions which need to be made. It also is going to open yourself and allow yourself to be working with way more people. It's also, it's a noisy world out there. It's going to completely cut through all of that because somebody already trusts you and they know that you are someone who they can make a deal with instantly. Next up, YouTube is a force multiplier for business growth. That's why it's an absolute game changer. What does it do? Well, it's going to amplify your reach. At the moment, you might only be able to get people who are business in your local area, or you might be like spending huge amounts of money on ads and it's just kind of artificial. Whereas if you're able to build an asset you own, which is a YouTube channel, which every time you post a video on there for free, you're then able to get more reach. That means that your reach is going to be amplified and there's going to be way more people out there who are potentially going to be able to make a deal with you. I think this is super important as well if you're on a lower budget, but also it's going to be way more efficient and that audience is going to be way more engaged. And like we just mentioned, they're going to already trust you. So it's a huge force multiplier. It's going to scale up your time. Instead of doing like one-to-one videos or one-to-one consultations, you can now do one-to-many when you're able to build and cultivate an audience of people who are going to listen to you directly. Then it's going to accelerate your goals. You're going to be able to reach more people. You're going to have these people already trust you. You're going to be able to share with them some of your best information. It could be building a personal brand. It could be sharing an information on your business or your sector. For example, you could be a lawyer giving away information as to what's important within that niche, and then they know you're a credible source. And all these things together are going to add up to a massive accelerating component, or going to be a massive accelerating component to you and your business. The third and final key point here is just showing up, even if you don't have a plan. And why does it work? Well, action beats perfection. Consistency builds momentum. There's loads of these different random things you can say. But if you start just showing up and you start just posting, one or two people are going to see it. And to start with, you may think, oh, only 10 people saw it. Well, it's 10 human beings who actually saw your content. And then eventually, as you keep going, keep chipping away, keep being consistent on whatever it is, you will start building an audience. Joe Rogan, for example, talks about loads of wacky, crazy stuff, and it sometimes comes across as a complete mess. But he basically just started, and look at the platform he's got now. Whether it be even on Twitter or whether it even be on YouTube, just getting started and then being consistent is a massive first step you can do. Honestly, I've just thrown this video together in about 20 minutes because I found what David Freeberg said so valuable. So what I'm going to say to you is, if you found this at all of any value, why not hit the subscribe button? Because you'll probably find a gem or a nugget in every single video I do post. So why not just subscribe now? Just do it.